Good evening, everyone. Everyone here and watching online, welcome. On behalf of the Village of Westmont and the Westmont Chamber of Commerce, we give you a warm Westmont welcome to the James Addington Plaza grand opening ribbon cutting ceremony. Welcome, everybody. It is certainly great to see everybody here tonight. First, we're going to do some key introductions. Behind me, we have representatives of the Addington family, and we're going to introduce them one by one in just a little bit. But it's great to see them here. Please give them a round of applause. Also joining us here tonight, we have with us some elected officials, our Mayor Ron Gunter, Trustee Bruce Barker, Trustee Frank Brady, Trustee Marie Johanna Guzzo, Trustee Linda Little, Trustee Steve Nero, Trustee Amy Lee Hogan Simonovich, Village Clerk Ginny Simsky, State Representative Deanne Mazaki. We also have with us Brian Krasuski, DuPage County Board Member, and Greg Boltz with the DuPage Township. I hope I didn't miss anybody who might have walked in since we started, but welcome to all our elected officials here tonight. We also want to give a very special shout out to the Lions Club members that are here tonight. Jim Addington always had a very special place in his heart for the Lions Club. So give it up for our Lions Club for everything they do. So here we are, Thursday, June 30th, 2022. We are here to celebrate and honor the life of Mr. Jim Addington. Once you met Jim, if you ever met Jim, you would never forget him. His experience, his passion for the community, his level of involvement and volunteerism, really second to none. It was really part of his DNA. And his love for his family and community really had no limits. His knowledge and support of the community, I mean, if you look around, you know, all the things he's done, and we're going to hear a lot about that as our speakers come up tonight. It's just absolutely incredible. So this plaza here will be a remembrance for generations to come of all the great things that Jim Addington did for the betterment of Westmont. Jim, we miss you. Now it's my pleasure to introduce our first speaker of the night, our Mayor, Ron Gunter, who's a very good friend of Jim Addington. Mayor Gunter.
Thank you. And I probably don't even need notes. Jim, over 5 decades, that gentleman was involved in this community. I think the one thing that we all should be proud of and thank the family is that in 1968, we got the Addington family here. He could have went anywhere. He chose Westmont. Westmont was the community that fit his family the best. I think Jim was probably the first person that really took volunteerism to the height here in Westmont. Powwow Days was a Lions Club event that Jim Addington kept going, and then that was our first major activity. And then, of course, in the 75th, when Jim was mayor, you know, he had over 20 years, about 20 years of elected service. He was mayor from 93 to 97, and in 96, we had our 75th anniversary celebration under his leadership. And the Taste of Westmont, one of the dreams that Kathy Addington had with Jim was to close Cass Avenue, to have a major summer event here. The 75th started garage sales, it started the Taste, and then the Taste continued with the downtown group, and then the Westmont Special Events. The Main Street had it for about several years, and then the Special Events Corp was created, and they've had it since. And again, it's all volunteers, and that's what was really strong in Jim's background. He mentored me, and it made me realize what it is to be a community servant, and he was. Jim loved Westmont. He was the true picture of somebody who was volunteering all the time for the betterment of the community. When he was mayor, he got us involved in the county. Up to that point, Westmont wasn't really active in the county, but Jim became president of the DuPage Mayors and Managers Corp that brought Westmont more into the county. And Jim was the one who did that. Jim was always looking for something to do for this community. On the Lions Club, and I know Bob Fleck, is the president of the Lions Club, will talk more about that, but I do have to say that he was a true friend. He was a true friend to everybody. He couldn't say no. You know, if you went to him, he was the one who thought all the money that's raised from our fundraisers should be shared by everyone in the community, all the organizations, all the groups. So he made sure the American Legion, the Rotary, they all were involved, the Knights, and he was a very strong to make sure that happened, and it continues today. I believe Jim would love this plaza. I think he was even, and I see Steve sitting in the front row, I think it was under Jim's leadership that this was developed, and when he was mayor, and now we redid it and named it for him. I think this is a great honor for this community to have this for him. And again, like I said, he was a true friend. He was one of the first ones that met me and introduced me to everything in the community. The one last thing, he was what we used to call super fan. Not only at the Westmont High School, for 30 years he traveled to games, went everywhere with them. He sat in the front row no matter what the record was. He truly was a super fan for this community, for everything. So again, I want to thank everyone for attending today, and I know we have other speakers. I asked Larry to come back up, but I am proud to say I was his friend, and that he's taught me how to give back to this community. And I think it continues today with all our different volunteer groups. So Larry.
Thank you, Mayor Gunter. Our next speaker is Bob Fleck. Bob is the president of the Lions Club, but also serves as executive director of the Westmont Park District. So we'll turn it over to you, Bob.
Thank you very much, Larry. It, of course, is a privilege and an honor to speak here on behalf of Jim Addington. I was told 3 minutes. That's very hard for two reasons. One, because, as the mayor just said, you can say so much about Jim Addington. And if we're going to do it right in honor of Jim, he never saw a microphone he didn't like. Yep. Jim loved to talk. Jim loved Westmont. He loved his family. He loved people, and that's why he spoke so much. But he loved helping others. The mayor just mentioned Jim couldn't say no. Often Jim would say yes before we knew it was or was not feasible. In the end, Jim had this incredible ability to be positive and bring people together and make something happen to benefit someone else. And that was what was really, really special about Jim Addington. His service with Lions Club wasn't necessarily about Lions Club. It was a Westmont organization where he could fulfill his sense of purpose to help others. And Jim did that over many, many decades. I'm going to share some stats of the things Jim did. He began his career with the Lions in October of 1971. He served for 47 years. He served as our district governor. He served as a trustee for the Lions of Illinois Foundation. He sponsored 15 new members. He received numerous LCI awards and recognitions. He created the Memorial Weekend barbecue at Ty Warner Park. Jim created the first community festival through the Lions Club Powwow Days. One of his absolute favorite things to do every year was to present the Senior Scholarship Awards at the high school. This year, that program was renamed in his honor. Jim made sure the club sponsored WYBA baseball team every year. At the end of the season, Jim would organize and pay to take the entire team out for ice cream during their last game. Jim was also active in the Park District. In retirement, he came to work for us in Park Patrol, but his favorite thing to do was drive the after-school bus because he loved being around the kids. And his granddaughter Zoe, Chloe,
It's fine.
rode the bus. It enabled him to spend more time with her and see her every day.
She was the bus monitor.
No, she was a bus monitor.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I was signed up by himself.
How come I got no reports on your grandfather then?
I didn't have an official job.
And then when Jim came in, he came in every day of the week after his bus shift for a daily chat. And believe me, we all miss Jim walking into the office because you always knew and heard his hearty laugh. He presented himself like nobody else. And then at the end of the chat, he would always end it the same way. Now you be a good boy, you hear? Thank you.
Thank you, Bob.
Bob, thank you. It's clear to see the passion that Jim Addington had for the Lions was just phenomenal. It's now my pleasure to introduce our next speaker, our very own state rep, Deanne Mazzocchi. Deanne?
Hi, good evening, everyone. Deanne Mazzocchi, your state representative. Thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of this event tonight. It's very fitting that we not only have a beautiful night in Westmont, but that we also have an event going on in the background. This would absolutely be the kind of night that we would see Jim Addington out in Westmont having fun, making connections, and making everybody feel like they're getting a warm Westmont welcome. During Jim's life, there was no civic event or place where you couldn't find him, usually with either his Lions cap or a veteran's cap on. He was genuinely excited to talk about all that was wonderful that was going on in Westmont. One of the things that I've been blessed to see as I go from city to city and village to village within the district and in the state of Illinois is that there are people who really serve as what I call the civic glue for various places. They're what make it special. They bind people together. They bring people together. And Jim Addington was the epitome of one of those people when it came to the village of Westmont. He was also a wonderful role model for anyone who wanted to be a public servant. He would happily introduce anyone. He wanted nothing but the best for you. He wanted you to do well, and he also mentored so many of us who are sitting here tonight. He also had no qualms about putting his elected officials to work. So also because of Jim, I have managed to deliver treats to Mays Lake, participate in a luau, flip pancakes, shake lemonade, pour beer, scoop ice cream, decorate Christmas trees, and hand out Halloween trick-or-treat bags. Because if he saw you standing somewhere, he wanted to put you to work, to get you volunteering, to make everything work a little bit better. But I do want to say that while Jim did have this incredible zest for life and did all these fun things that are great for Westmont, he also was a truly committed person when it came to good governance. He was somebody who cared about government, doing it right, making sure the trains ran on time, and really making sure that Westmont was a well-run, well-governed city. And frankly, a lot of the institutions and cultures that he built in his various roles, civic roles within Westmont, as well as a village trustee and as a mayor, the city of Westmont is still benefiting from all of those today. So here again, that culture of of excellence, of responsiveness is one that everybody in Westmont benefits from, and it's a wonderful legacy to leave behind. But ultimately, we know that Jim loved Westmont. He loved the people here, and I've been very proud to also donate to the scholarship fund that bears his name. So that would be another thing. If anyone wants to continue honoring Jim's memory, please donate to that through the Lions Club, because that also is something that Jim was very passionate about and was going to help young people set themselves up for their future. So ultimately, I am very grateful that the people of Westmont are going to be able to see the name of Jim Addington at the heart of our town going forward for many generations, because this is absolutely where Jim would always want to be. So thank you so much, everybody, for the opportunity to be here tonight. I'm very grateful, and we all know that heaven gave Jim Addington a very Westmont warm welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Deanne. That was an excellent job describing an interaction with Jim, putting you to work. Typical for him. Next, it's my pleasure to introduce our village manager, Steve May, who's going to talk a little bit about the Plaza. Steve?
All right. Well,
thank you all. Certainly a lot of good words and a lot of tribute to the individual himself, Jim Addington, but the talk a little bit about the space, combining everybody's comments from the opening comments to the recent ones and the community involvement. This plaza was actually been in the works for a while. We worked very hard last year to get this going and developed. It was to culminate with the 100th anniversary. We spoke to Jim's involvement with the 75th anniversary, but continued to be involved through the 100th, which was last fall. We did have a little dedication ceremony at that time, but it was in construction as well. And then the same delays that everybody experienced in construction-wise put this through the winter, and we just wrapped it up recently. So happy to be doing this ribbon cutting here. A little bit about the space. Besides the plaza and the joining of the community, the space is laid out for an all-season, any season event, and to have any good special event or participation here in this space from spring, summer through winter. At some point when more mature, the holidays features will be returned to this space as well. The plaza's laid out. It's certainly a crossroads location. I'll call it celebrating the railroad instead of complaining about the trains, but it's about the viewing, embracing all that as well. And even the arch is a representation of the bringing of the community together, with Jim being the keystone, in fact, at the top of that arch. So we do have the design engineer and design workshop from the elements in here too joining us today, as well as other staff for the space. The only other thing I wanted to add is all the good features that we've found and that we've designed and built into this space. We are also now creating and repeating a lot of these features across the street and down the block, and there's working on a kind of a plaza component to this first block on Quincy Street, all inspired by the work that was done here today.
And at this time, we got the entire Addington family behind us. We'd ask the Lions Club and the village elected officials, could you please come up and get around them while we make the presentation. So if you come on up, just gather around us. And I don't know if you heard Manager May, but they're going to do, Quincy Street's going to have all outdoor dining. We're going to start that project in the fall.
No, we're the three of us. Hold on, doing cutting. Yeah, the three of us are going to do it. Yep. Yes. Sounds good to me. And he said to hold it on a slight angle so the camera sees it's a
And this is a tradition. The chamber always does a ribbon cutting, and we'll have the Addington family do the honors. We're going to count. We'll have a countdown. You guys, come on, all you can hold on. Here, guys, grab on. Countdown, no.
Do I do over? Do we do it wrong?
Yeah, no. We usually do a countdown, but you did well.
Thank you. Oh, a countdown. Sorry. He did say there was a countdown.
And at this point, we want to unveil the plaque that we have here in honor of Jim. So behind me, I'd ask the manager to please unveil that so everyone can see. And again, we had a big ceremony a year and a half ago when we dedicated the pavilion at Lions Park in Jim's honor, and also the corner of Lions Park is named Jim Addington Way. So there's a lot of things in this community that we've had a chance to recognize his importance, and now I'd like to give the Addington family, Lisa and Jim and everyone else, I'm going to present them in recognition of James Addington Plaza, the grand opening ceremony. To you guys. Thank you. Come on up. Thank you. Take a picture.
All right.
Turn it.
Turn it this way.
We'll frame it.
Go ahead.
All right. And now we'll let the Addington family say a few words.
Want me or you first? It's up to you.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. I don't even know what I'm going to say after all that, other than I was very proud to be my dad's daughter, because anywhere I went, as minute someone knew I was Jim Addington's daughter, I got to hear how wonderful my father was. And it's like, yeah, I know he's kind of cool at home, too. So that was kind of nice. So it was kind of nice being his daughter. And I want to thank everybody so much for coming today and all these honors. Because he did love this town. He loved this town. He loved being involved in every part of this town, especially the Lions Club. He loved helping people. And now that he's gone, it means so much to us that he's still part of this town, and it would mean so much to him. Thank you, because he's now forever part of this town that he loved. Thank you very much.
Hello, my name is James Addington, and I had a really big speech set up that was going to be about 2 hours long, and probably only 15 minutes of substance, because I'd have to throw in a lot of uhs and ands, and a lot of you know that one when he spoke. My dad did love this community. He loved this town extremely much. He never regretted moving here. There are so many people I haven't thanked yet for it. My dad always said it wasn't him that got things done in this town, it was everybody around him that worked together as a team. And he always praised. I mean, he loved every award the Park District ever got, every award the village ever got, every award our schools ever got. Meant so much to him, because it felt like the community was pulling together to make things better. Dad always said, you know, every time something would come new to the town or come into the town, he never said I, me. It was always we got this. They're coming here because we got them. And it's just, you know, and I want to thank everybody for everything the village has done, the Lions Club has done, the Park District has done, all of the nice words that this town has said about my father. It means a lot. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Anybody else?
Come on, Frank.
Family. Well, no, family only.
His family.
I heard that Jim was instrumental in bringing the train through Westmont, right? No, we won't blame him for that. It's obvious that Jim's influence will be forever in this community. The things he did and the things he has done through the years continues. And again, I want to say his volunteerism, this community thrives on that. And I think a lot of that has to do with Jim. Jim always wanted everyone to get involved. And again, he always said we. It wasn't about him. It was about the community.
Chloe, did you want to take this?
So, and then his granddaughter now, she spoke, I think she should speak again.
Definitely, it's really good to be there because you kind of know everyone really knows you, so you can usually find something to get in common with pretty easily with everyone.
By the way, this is the one you got to put a time limit on. She is her
Yeah, and actually something on that's a little bit of a negative because since I'm so much like my grandfather, everyone says I'm going to be a politician when I grow up like my grandfather, and I hate him for one. But yeah, that's a small little thing that I have to complain, but everything else is pretty much just a positive on that.
Is that it? Okay.
Pretty much. Also, I liked being the little monitor on the bus. That was really fun. Also, all the kids just stare at me confused because they didn't know he was actually my grandpa until I told them, which was actually, I think, is kind of funny.
All right.
Thank you. And thank you. And I didn't mean we had an opportunity for the friends to speak at the first ceremony we had, and I think tonight we're just going to kind of have a short ceremony, the ribbon cutting, and let the family and some key people say a few words. But again, I want to thank everyone for coming tonight. You can see we have a lot of people here, and there is a car show going on, and if you want to, it's a great event, and I think Jim would be proud of the fact that tonight was the night we chose to honor and have the ribbon cutting. So again, thank you for attending. Enjoy the evening, and I think we thank the Addington family for being here, and congratulations.